Dane, Jay Gillette03 asks, which position group do you feel would have the greatest impact on this year's team? So I guess what position group is the strongest that could make an impact on the Chargers in 2022 as they look to make a playoff run?
Well, I mean, I think the strongest position in this draft is edge rusher. There's no doubt about it. But, obviously I think with, the addition they made with Khalil Mack and, Joey Bosa, we know is not going anywhere. So, edge rusher, I'm not sure necessarily a position they're going to attack early. But after edge rusher, I think you're looking at, wide receiver, corner, even tackle to a lesser extent. And we know they could go, one of those three positions, no doubt. Wide receiver is a little top heavy where we're going to see these guys fly off the board in the first round. 6 wide receivers, maybe 7. They're going to go. And, part of it is some of the contracts being handed out in the NFL right now. Teams want to get younger. They want to get cheaper at a position where wide receiver is now the second most expensive position in the NFL, just behind quarterback. And so a chance to, and it's funny because you look at the hit rate on first round wide receivers, it's not great. I mean, obviously some stars come out of the first round receiver, but it's not the hit rate that necessarily you want. But that's not going to stop teams from taking swings in the first round. So these guys are going to go early. Now I still think there will be receivers in the third round if they want to go that direction. If, a Calvin Austin from Memphis or Khalil Shakir from Boise State.
From Vista Marietta High School.
There you go.
That's where Khalil Shakir's from.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, I think that this draft, wide receivers, it's a little top heavy. They're going to go early, but there still should be some viable options in round 3 if they want to go that direction. And then I think there is a drop off once you get to day 3, with the 4th, 5th round. But there are a few receivers in that range that could make sense. Velus Jones from Tennessee, Danny Gray from SMU, one of my favorite mid-round receivers this year. He could be this year's version of, say, like a Darnell Mooney, who has grown into a starter in Chicago for the Bears. So the wide receiver position every year, it seems like we're talking about receivers as being a strong position. This year's no different.
Hey, let me just interject real quick because we have a ton of questions. And this one is from John Malloy. Are we taking a receiver round 1? We've talked about 17. Is it a luxury pick? Is it a pick that could put you over the top because you have Mike Williams and Keenan Allen and Austin Eckler coming out of the backfield, Gerald Everett at tight end? Maybe that speedster type. We don't know if Jameson Williams will be there, but a guy like Williams or Olave, if they're there at 17, is that, something that you seriously consider?
I think a lot of fans will line up. Okay, these are the top 5 needs. So, okay, first 5 rounds that need to go in order. Top needs first round, second needs second round. I mean, that's not how NFL teams operate. The first round needs to be reserved for the player that's going to best impact your roster. So if that ends up being a receiver, a speed element, a guy that's going to help stretch out the defense, then absolutely. Why not? So yes, a little bit of a luxury pick when you have talent at the position already, but a chance to add another weapon for your young quarterback, a chance to make your offense even that more explosive. Why is that a bad thing? And so I think as the Chargers look at their options, looking at a right tackle, looking at a corner, looking at potential trade opportunities, wide receiver, that's going to be right there in the mix. It'll be interesting when we see that first receiver come off the board, who's left for them. If Jameson Williams is there, I love that fit. I think that'd be a lot of fun. Justin the Jameson, I mean, it'd be fireworks. So because of the ACL, you never know. If he's not there, Chris Olave, that's another fit that I think would make sense. Chris Olave is NFL ready. I mean, he is helping you tomorrow. He's the senior of the group, really polished route runner. The one thing that I dislike about Chris Olave is he's not going to give you much after the catch. He's not a yak type of guy. He's not going to break tackles. There's not really a level of physicality with him, but he's still a player that gets open and he can win deep. And so you can do a lot with a player like Chris Olave that can line up and down the formation, inside, outside, and really give your offense some options.
You mentioned the names, and obviously Shakir's one that I followed. He followed Bachmeier up to Boise State. That connection, always fun to see that with quarterback and receiver. But like George Pickens is another one that's mentioned because he's been hurt. Is he going to slide? So let's just say the Chargers pass on wide receiver in the first round. They don't have a second. And it's that third round group. It's the same round they picked Joshua Palmer in last year. And, it seemed like when they made the selection, it was 50-50 how people felt about him, but we love him. I mean, watching him in the preseason, when he got his opportunities, he really shined. Are these receivers that they might get in like the third, fourth, fifth round, Dane, are they as good as Josh Palmer? Because to me, it's, if you're going to upgrade that position, they got to be better than Josh. They've got to be out. They've got to take that starting position from him and make him a rotational receiver.
Yeah, I think that's an excellent point. And I think that will factor into the decision-making. I don't think that the Chargers are necessarily going into this draft saying, okay, we got to get a receiver. We have to use one of those early picks on a wideout. I think if a wide receiver in the first round makes sense because of the way he can impact your offense, then, let's make it happen. And the same thing will be true in the third round. If the right fit is there in terms of what fits this offense, and I don't know that it comes down to better or worse than Palmer, but how does he complement the offense? And so you're getting all these guys on the field and letting them contribute. So yeah, I think that at it's a 79 in the third round. So it's 78 players off the board. There's going to be a lot of good receivers in that mix. There's a good chance that you're not feeling great about the receivers at 79 in terms of them being a better option than Palmer, who you drafted in the third round last year.